The president has also pushed for National Guard deployments in several American cities. As you know, that's been questioned by several federal judges, including Trump appointees. Also, the Republican governor of Oklahoma and chairman of the National Governors Association, Kevin Stitt. Here's what Governor Stitt said. We believe in the federalist system that's states' rights. Oklahomans would lose their mind if Pritzker and Illinois sent troops down to Oklahoma during the Biden administration. How do you respond to Governor Stitt?
Well, I'd say to Governor Stitt, you have to look at what's happening on the ground in Chicago. And the reason why Illinois is a different case from Chicago is because Chicago has been given over to lawlessness and gangs for too long, George. If you look at the murder rates in Chicago, the violent crime rates, you have women who have young families. They're terrified their kids are going to get killed in a drive-by shooting. We have accepted this for far too long in the United States of America and some of our biggest cities. And Chicago, unfortunately, is the worst. It's a beautiful city. It's got great people. We know the gross majority of the violent crime in that city is committed by a very tiny fraction of the population. Why shouldn't federal troops empower the people in Chicago to live safe lives when the governor and the local mayor just simply refuse to do their job?
But as you know, a federal judge, a U.S. district judge, has blocked the effort to deploy troops in Chicago. And it was Judge Perry, and she actually said that a lot of these claims that were made, especially in the court filings, lack credibility.
Well, George, we're obviously going to litigate this as much as we can. We think that we have the authority to provide proper safety to our citizens all over the United States, but particularly in Chicago. But I think for any federal judge or anybody else to look.
They're in Rogers Park. They're in Kenilworth. They're in the whitest, most affluent suburbs. It was never about crime. I mean, none of it is about crime. Even the deportation of undocumented people is not about like limiting crime. They're not going after criminals. As a matter of fact, they're doing the opposite of going after criminals. They're letting criminals go free because all of the other federal law enforcement apparatus forces that would otherwise be tasked with investigating like drug trafficking, for example, have now had to engage in interior removals. Okay? They have literally taken people off the drug teams. They've taken people off of the sex trafficking teams and specifically made them go after interior removal and to defend the ICE mass apprehension initiative. It is crazy. It's the exact opposite of tackling crime. It's the most redeeming quality of federal policing that they are taking away. They did this last time as well, never to this degree. Okay? It is crazy. It's so crazy. Like, I am not a person that believes that there is no role that law enforcement has in modern society. Okay? I believe that as it stands currently, they do not abide by the principles of protecting and serving the population. They protect and serve capital. Having said that, in a perfect world, there still needs to be a mechanism of law enforcement. Okay? What that law enforcement does obviously needs to be heavily regulated and significantly limited, significantly scaled back in the way that it works. Having said that, this is the one aspect of law enforcement that you're supposed to do, which is, I don't know, investigate actual crime. And these guys have completely dropped the ball on that. They do not care. Like, either engage in, community advocacy, community safety, or actually investigate real crimes that are taking place. And it's crazy because this is your most liberal take? No, I'm not an anarchist if that's what you think. And even anarchists themselves also believe that there needs to be some kind of like community policing. So there is no ideology out there. Okay? There is no ideology. Even anarchists who are abolitionists still understand that something needs to exist as a formation that resembles what you would, under normal circumstances, consider to be a policing unit, okay? Whether it is democratically organized or not doesn't matter. I can't believe we're having this insane conversation every single time I talk about police, okay? There has always been police in every single society, okay? There has been something that you could point to as policing. The USSR had cops as well, okay? Cuba has cops. China has cops. Everybody has cops. Something that it plays that role of by their existence, something that plays the role of law and order. The presence that is supposed to, their presence is supposed to invoke that there is like some kind of peacekeeping taking place here. The problem in America is that that's not what cops do. That's never what cops have done historically. And it's certainly not what they're doing right now. Okay? But as it stands currently, the only redeemable aspect of law enforcement is also being deprioritized. People are literally, because of the ways that this administration is operating, they are moving federal law enforcement away from like tackling drug trafficking or tackling sex crimes and like that, specifically to interior removals. So they're moving people away from, serious crimes that they're supposed to be tasked with investigating and apprehending people on, to directly deporting random people that work as barbacks, that work in the local eatery, that work in the factories, that work in the goddamn fields. Lame ass take. Supposed prison abolitionist believes law enforcement should exist. Reformist ass take. Yes, I'm lame reformist. Shut the up. This is not a position that is new or unique on this broadcast. I've always talked about it. Okay, please stop. This is so stupid. This is not a serious or sincere argument that we should be having right now. Okay? Jesus Christ. Most crimes are born out of people's material conditions. I understand that. And if you want to solve crime broadly to the best of your ability, you have to solve that problem. Okay? Having said that, there will be still crimes as it stands currently, given that we have a limitation in the field of medicine. There will still be crimes that are born out of like socially maladaptive behavior, crimes born out of antisocial personality disorders, things like that. And as long as we can't rehabilitate, or as long as we currently can't actually move to use therapy to eradicate that kind of crime, there is always going to be a necessity for some kind of apprehension. Okay, it's gonna happen. Also, on top of that, there are very powerful people who are engaging in these sorts of crimes. I would like to also enforce some kind of justice upon those people as well. Please stop. Anyway, there will always be a need for a presence of community-backed unit of people that invoke the presence of law and order. The problem in America is that cops do not actually create law and order. They create lawlessness, panic, and disorder. Okay? That's it.
Look at the situation and say, is it tolerable? And I think the obvious answer, George, is no. The president looks at the situation. He sees the fact that you have multiple people dying of murders every weekend in the city of Chicago, and he says, this is intolerable.
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree on this. How this Trump's material conditions explain the crimes he's committed. Did you not hear what I just said? I said most crimes, like petty theft or even like aggravated assault and whatnot, are a direct byproduct of people's material conditions because they've just been left behind, okay? That's why I said most. What is going on? I feel like I have an entire community of professional misunderstanders. Hasan gets mad for a living? I mean, I kind of do. You're not wrong. You actually are not wrong. I do get mad for a living, it seems, sometimes, because there are then crimes that we consider to be crimes but are actually totally considered legal by the current system that we exist under. Okay? If you steal from the rich, that's a crime. If you steal from the poor, you will become rich.
It's not just the people who live in Chicago, it's the law enforcement in Chicago, federal, state, and local, who are trying to keep us safe. George, you've seen ICE agents being teed off on in suburban Chicago, in places all over the state of Illinois and other places too. You see 1,000% increase in violence against our ICE agents. They're being assaulted.
Don't get mad. Abolitionists are reasonable people who you owe an explanation to why you are a reformist. Wait, what? I would like to know why you are a reformist, though. Don't you think a world is possible where people wouldn't commit crimes, or even if they still would, that it couldn't be solved differently? I'm going to keep it $1.50. I do not owe anyone an explanation. If you disagree with me and you don't like the explanation that I've designed for you so far, then you have every freedom to just right off. That's number one. Number two, what do you do about a pedophile, dude? Like, not to use this example because it's the most extremist example, but like, what do you do when someone minor? What do you do? Do you just go, hey man, that was really up. Can you not do that? What do you do when he another minor? Well, he just keeps raping children. What do you do? Oh, dude, what the I just thought you gave me a pinky promise. Like, there is even in the process of rehabilitation, there needs to be a level of apprehension and detention to stop the person from actually raping more children, right? Rehabilitation cannot exist without some form of carceral process in some heinous crimes, okay? Jesus Christ. All laws are technically authoritarian, okay? All laws are authoritarian. There are people out there that want to fuck children, okay? It is authoritarian to them to say, no, you can't do that. We have statutory rape laws, okay? It's authoritarian to them. They want to do that. And I'm glad those laws exist. Oh,
being beaten, they're being shot at. I think all Americans, Democrat or Republican, we look at this scenario, we say, this is not acceptable. We want people to be safe. We want our law enforcement officials to be empowered to keep us safe. We can do this, and that's exactly what the Trump administration has committed to doing.
Governor Pritzker is our next guest. President Trump has said that he should be in jail. Do you think Governor Pritzker has committed a crime?
Well, I think Governor Pritzker has certainly failed to keep the people of Illinois safe. And it's interesting to me, Governor Pritzker will talk a lot, I'm sure, about how bad Donald Trump is, about how bad I am, and about how bad the administration is. He is the governor of a state that where its biggest city has murder rates that rival the most violent places in the third world, George. Why is he so mad at Donald Trump for trying to keep Chicagoans safe? He should be mad at the criminals that he has failed to keep at bay. We're trying to help him. And we're trying to help the residents of his biggest city. I wish that he would let us, because he certainly isn't doing the job himself.
I asked if you agree with President Trump that Governor Pritzker has committed a crime.
Well, I think that Governor Pritzker has allowed a lot of people to be killed in the city of Chicago and elsewhere, George. I think that it's disgraceful, and I think that he absolutely should suffer some consequences for the fact that there are thousands of innocent Chicagoans who are dead because he failed to do his job.
please shock your dog.
It's really a yes or no question. Do you believe he's committed a crime?
George, you're going to keep on asking this question. I'm going to keep on telling you that Governor Pritzker has failed to do his job. He should
answer the question, JD. I mean, this is, by the way, this is like the most basic thing that you can do as a journalist, for the record, or as a commentator in general.
Committed a crime.
Well, I think that Governor Pritzker has allowed a lot of people to be killed in the city of Chicago and elsewhere, George. I think that it's disgraceful, and I think that he absolutely should suffer some consequences for the fact that there are thousands of innocent Chicagoans who are dead because he failed to do his job.
It's really a yes or no question. Do you believe he's committed a crime?
George, you're going to keep on asking this question. I'm going to keep on telling you that Governor Pritzker has failed to do his job. He should suffer some consequences. Whether he's violated a crime, ultimately, I would leave to the courts. But I certainly think that he has violated his fundamental oath of office. That seems pretty criminal to me. I'd leave it to a judge and jury to decide.
I love that. It's just like, hey, Governor Pritzker doesn't like me, and I think it should be illegal. Governor Pritzker doesn't like the current administration and is totally operating within the confines of the pre-existing law. And I don't like that, so it should be illegal and we should punish him, is basically what he is saying here. But I will not get myself to say he has actually violated the law, because he hasn't.
Decide whether he's actually violated the crime.
Let me also ask you, as we saw the indictment this week of Letitia James on questions of mortgage fraud. Also, Lisa Cook has been accused by the Trump administration of committing mortgage fraud as well. The journalism outlet ProPublica has actually published a story, and I want to show it up on the screen right now, that says that several members of the Trump administration have faced similar questions. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer entered into 2 primary residence mortgages in quick succession. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has primary residence mortgages in New Jersey and Washington, D.C. Lee Zeldin, the Environmental Protection Agency administrator, has 1 primary residence mortgage in Long Island and another in Washington, D.C. How do you respond to critics who say that the Trump administration is engaging in a double standard here?
Well, I'd say 2 things, George. First of all, ProPublica is basically a left-wing blog. I'm not shocked that you found a left-wing blog that can attack members of the Trump administration. But second...
Okay, but like, he's not even tackling the veracity of the reporting. Just, it's left-wing blog. First of all, they shit on the Democrats too. They're just one of the only decent resources for journalism that remains. Okay, that's number one. Number 2, I hate when these never actually respond to the reporting. the veracity of the reporting, where they're just like, oh, well, this is left-wing blog.
And this is the most important is, what does the law say? Letitia James was indicted in a left-leaning part of our country, a part that voted very heavily against Donald J. Trump, for the crime of mortgage fraud. When I read the indictment, when I read the facts in the case, I see a person who committed mortgage fraud. Now, of course, the jury is going to decide whether she ultimately committed a crime. We don't try her. The administration doesn't try her. A judge tries the case, and a jury decides whether she's ultimately guilty. That is what is going to determine whether she goes to prison. I think we let the facts drive this. And, George, that's what we've tried to do in the administration's Department of Justice. We've asked ourselves, has a person violated the law? And if that person has violated the law, then we decide to prosecute him. That's what the Department of Justice should do.
Chatters who are saying, when will we watch the Zoran rally? There's so much more going on right now, so I can't watch the Zoran rally right now, but I will get to it.
It didn't do that under Joe Biden's administration. It does under Donald Trump's.
On the facts, do you dispute the facts that ProPublica reported?
Do I dispute a far-left blog that I haven't read that you brought up in this interview? I have no idea, George. I have no idea what they actually said. But I certainly question the source. I question their credibility. And most importantly, I'm not worried about what they said about members of our administration. I ask the question, what does the law say? And if the law says that you engage in mortgage fraud and a local prosecutor, a local grand jury, and finally...
It's awesome that they're like straight up... Donald Trump has straight up been like, you have to prosecute my political enemies. You have to do that. I am saying that publicly to you, even though technically I should be saying it privately to you. But oops, I'm saying it publicly. So we might as well say it publicly as well, because nothing matters anymore. And JD Vance is like, well, this is the most honest. This is the most honest act of justice that has ever taken place. Okay. Yes, the previous prosecutor, the previous attorney general said that there wasn't indictable evidence here. There wasn't enough evidence to indict this person. And they looked really long and looked really hard. But guess what? That person is fired. Okay. And the new person has very clearly found enough evidence, in air quotes, in a matter of days. Okay. In a matter of days. Crazy. I know. But it is totally above board. Okay. Totally legal. We crossed our T's and dotted our I's. It's all good, baby. Come on now.
A jury convicts you of that crime, then that is how the justice system is meant to work in the United States of America.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should
yeah, you should ask this question instead, not the question that you directed towards me, which is, why was your border czar bribed by the FBI for 50 grand? Excuse me, please stop asking me this question and ask me different questions instead.
Focus on, we can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take
it. No, it hasn't actually, because this administration is so corrupt that no, this story hasn't been covered ad nauseum. As a matter of fact, this is one of the few instances where a mainstream media resource, a mainstream media commentator, is actually covering it for the first time by directly asking a question to the vice president. This is the coverage. It's not covered ad nauseum.
A bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for.
This is my favorite thing that Republicans do, which is to describe something that is literally open and shut, black and white, a crime. Okay, receiving a $50,000 bribe in a manila envelope in an FBI sting operation is literally just as straightforward as it gets. It's a bribe, it's a crime. Okay? But of course, Republicans love doing this thing where they go, excuse me. Oh, it was in a kava bag. Sorry, it wasn't in a manila envelope. It was in a kava paper bag. Takeout. Sorry. Anyway, he describes it. It's even worse because the manila envelope has some class. Okay, the kava bag is classless. Having said that, understand something here. He's literally just going, excuse me, has Tom Homan actually had services rendered for $50,000 throughout his career? I'm sure he has. It's like, that's not the question. They're not asking. He's not asking you if Tom Homan has ever been given $50,000 for a job. He's asking if Tom Homan was caught in an FBI sting where he was given $50,000 in a bribe. And the answer is yes.
Services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has
if he's never seen it, then it doesn't exist.
accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because
he's doing the thing. So now it's illegal to accept money for exchanging services? Excuse me. Oh, dude, I didn't realize it was illegal to get paid. Typical socialism. Everybody knows that's what socialism is, when you don't get paid for your job. Excuse me, we're a capitalist nation here, George, and not socialistic like your favorite Palestine or your favorite Greece, okay? And therefore, we do things the right way here. We pay our friends for a job well done. We tip them. That's what the FBI was doing. He was tipping Tom Homan. The FBI officer thought he did a great job on the border and was like, here's a tip for you. No tax on tips. Remember, W's all around for Donald Trump. Let's go.
Talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You're focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against...
Wait, JD Vance literally asking SCOTUS to further expand Citizens United, basically eliminate bribery as a crime? YOLO, whatever.
It's a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling.
Yeah, instead of focusing on the fact that we also shut the government down because we want to cut Medicaid, and we refuse to stand down on the position that 16 million Americans must lose their health care because we're evil on every front, George. Why are you forgetting how evil we are, George? Remember that, George. Remember all the other awful shit we're doing.
Because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird...
He's so Rizless, bro. Everybody outside of Trump and this goddamn administration, and even Trump now, is like getting so old that he's also becoming more and more Rizless. No Riz whatsoever. No Riz. Everything is dying. Everything is falling apart. Everything is computer. Everybody transgender. And they are trying to do everything in their power to just like steal as much as they can. Look at this. Barron Trump tipped for top TikTok job. I don't want to believe that this is a real story. I just refuse. It could literally be real, and I still would refuse to believe that it's real, okay?
Left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.